Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back!
I'm Jo'Van,
And I'm Brandice.
and this is Closing the Gap. We're so excited that you're here. You're probably wondering why our show is called Closing the Gap. Well, we live in a time where there's tons of information out there, and it's hard to determine what's true,
what's false,
what's meaningful,
and what will truly feed your soul. We wanted to create a platform, a safe space for young adults to discuss everyday issues, but with a godly perspective. If you have questions, we've got answers.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Let's talk entertainment. So, Brandice, do you know who Paul Pierce is?
I know who he is, but I don't know much about him. I can't remember who told me about the situation with him, but I did hear about it.
Well, but before we get into that, we're not going to ignore that this man is an NBA legend. He was actually my favorite player before Dwayne Wade came along. Paul Pierce is my favorite player because he is just an amazing scorer. Did you know that he was stabbed like 20 times in a bar fight?
What? Oh, I wasn't laughing at that, but I was just laughing at how serious you were gone. Like, ooh, sorry.
This man,
what?
I think during his NBA career, I think he was stabbed like I know it was over 10 times
Sheesh.
in a bar fight. I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But here he is on social media, wilding out. Okay, let me tell you something. This guy literally just got fired. So basically, when you're a really good NBA player, sometimes they'll give you like a spokesman type commentator role, right?
Yeah.
And so he's been doing that with ESPN for a little minute. But he just got fired because he went on his Instagram live and he had like strippers in the back. So he was
other questionable things.
Yeah. I think he was smoking marijuana. Some people debate. They're like, well, he was in California, so what's the big deal? It's legal. You know what I'm saying? So, but there was that. So he got fired. So that was interesting. But what do you think about that? Do you think he should have got fired? I think it was separate from like he wasn't doing like ESPN work. He was just
when I first heard about it, I was kind of shocked when he got fired. But we don't know a lot of especially people that are on TV or whatever they have contracts. It might have been his contract that is like a moral clause. So
no strippers specifically,
right? Or presenting yourself that wouldn't reflect positively on the network. So if that's the case, and obviously that's the case, so he should have done it. So and don't go live, like, and then isn't he married?
Okay, I don't know. Is he?
The person who told me says yes. I don't have the facts on that, but they were saying he's wilding out, he's married, all the whole shebang.
Okay, I cannot confirm or deny such allegations. Look, I told you, Dwayne Wade is now my favorite. So
he's retired.
So is Paul Pierce. Okay. Yeah.
I was just saying.
Anyway, but yeah, we don't want to go too much on a tangent on that. But that was entertainment, and I thought that was interesting.
It is interesting. I mean, without the clause, it is his personal. I don't agree with it, but since this is his personal time, I was like, wow. Yeah. And like you said, it was legal there, but you better read those fine print, people. Are you going to be on the curb looking for another job? Just
right. So something tells me he's going to create his own show now, and it's going to be like sports, and it's going to be called Sports and Strippers.
Please don't.
Okay. Anyway, in other news, King Kong versus Godzilla, amazing movie. Brandice, did you see it? Okay.
No, I did
Brandice
not.
Brandice is always like on me about, you haven't seen this? Oh my gosh. It just came out. You haven't watched it yet?
I know.
You haven't watched it yet? Well, guess what? You didn't see King Kong versus Godzilla.
I know, and I told you that I was going to watch it, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. And you need to watch it. Do you have HBO?
I do.
You can literally watch it tonight.
I'm not watching it tonight, but I will watch it this weekend. I promise. You have my word.
Okay.
I'm a lady of my word.
What you got against Godzilla? What do you have against Godzilla?
I didn't say anything about Godzilla.
Oh, you just been putting it off, so I assume you didn't.
no, I just been putting it off. I'm behind on a couple of my shows, so it just wasn't on my high priority list.
Oh, okay.
I've been watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
How do you like that show? It hasn't really pulled me in yet.
Listen, okay, if you watch the last episode, I won't give any spoilers, but it's like, oh snap, especially the ending. So
Wait, I think I might have watched the last episode. Does it end with the girl from Wakanda?
yeah,
Yeah, I
so
saw
you're all
that.
caught up.
I was like, oh, okay, that's nice, but it still didn't make me go like, oh yeah. It's not.
No,
for
I
me.
don't know where they're going with this. I don't, but I'm enjoying it. I am looking forward to each week.
Okay, it's not pulling me in like WandaVision did.
Got it.
But it's okay. It's its own thing.
It's okay. Teach his own. But I will watch King Kong versus Godzilla just for you.
Thank you.
Yes. So yeah.
Yeah. So the Paul Pierce situation, social media, right? Just to
Yes.
kind of circle back.
I see where you're going there.
At first you were
I
like,
was like, why are we talking about this again?
but she sees what's going on.
I see what's going on, guys.
It ties into today's topic.
It does.
What topic is that, Brandice?
Social media.
The best thing that's ever happened to mankind. No? We're on social media. What could possibly be the problem?
Oh, well, we'll tell you guys. Oh gosh.
Not the evil laugh.
Listen. Okay. Social media, for the most part, I mean, what it was created for was good. Bring people close together.
Right.
Which is funny in itself. Entertainment, things of that nature. Just give you information, all that jazz. But when you watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix, it will open your eyes. Open your eyes, people! Watch Social Dilemma. Jo'Van told me about it and actually watched it. I watched one thing that you suggested, but no, it opens your eyes about like the different effects it has on us, especially young teens. It's just really sad. They're spending all of their time on it, and that's where they're getting all their information. Well, for us too, because a lot of us don't confirm any of the links they're reading. But there was a study in the U.S. Back in 2019 of more than 6,500 12 to 15-year-olds, and it said that age group that spent more than 3 hours a day on social media had a heightened risk of mental health problems. They did the similar study in the UK for 13 to 16-year-olds, but it was a higher pool. It was 12,000 people that were predicted to have poor mental health.
I believe it.
So that tells you a lot of what social media is doing to our young kids, and even for us, because I know for myself, I'm guilty of spending way too much time on social media. So it's definitely like has some kind of impact on us, guys.
And that's not completely your fault that you spend a lot of time on social media, because we're also going to talk about how these companies and these app developers specifically, they design the apps to keep you engaged, and that's how they make money. Because if you're engaged, then you have a lot of viewers. Then people are going to want to run ads there. Like companies are going to want to run ads there, so they invest in like the psychological aspect to keep you glued in.
One little small thing that I got from that documentary, The Social Dilemma, was just the simplest thing as tagging friends in photos. They did that on purpose, not just so that you can see yourself on the picture. Is to have that psychological thing when you get that notification, you're instantly going to go. You might not go when someone likes something because you're like, oh, I'll check that later. But if somebody says, I tagged you in a photo, you're going to instantly go. And they purposely did not put that photo in the email notification. They made sure that you had to drive you to the app so that way you're spending more time so they can create more data on you. And that at the end of the day, we are their product they're trying to sell. Like the advertiser are the customers, we are the data. So,
and to that point, once they get you on the site, they'll show you the picture that you want, but then you go to the homepage, they know exactly what to show you to keep you engaged.
Yes.
They'll show you like, oh, this person's getting married. They know you care because they know they not only the algorithms. I mean, that's the best way to summarize it. But the algorithms, they not only see which kind of content you engage with most, but they can also see how long you've been looking at things.
Yes,
because
that's one thing
I tried to outsmart the system one time, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna like these certain posts. I'm just gonna look at them because I don't want them to like know like this is what I want to see. So I just look at it. But it doesn't work that way. The algorithms also can see how long you've been looking at it. So
Yes.
even if you try to outsmart it by just liking or not liking, it's not going to work.
So if you're stalking the X page, they know about that.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, what's she doing? What's she doing?
Have you ever I can now with him. Have you ever like talked about something with someone and then next thing you know, you didn't search it, you didn't do anything, you're just talking about it, and then next thing you know, you saw an ad for that on social media
I have.
Which is kind of crazy if you ask me.
I was talking about Hello Kitty the other day, and you'll never guess what happened. You know what happened. It's crazy. Hello Kitty is everywhere now.
Were you really talking about Hello Kitty?
Why, you don't believe me? I can't talk about Hello Kitty?
I believe him.
Wow. 2021. Because of my... Never mind. I was about to...
What was that?
Because of my gender, I can't like Hello Kitty.
Okay, guys. So, going back to social media. But no, social media definitely has impact on a lot of us, and especially young people. One thing that I did find out, and if you watched our live recently, you will know about this. So there's a thing called Snapchat dysmorphia. What is that, you ask?
What is that, I ask?
It's a thing, a condition where young people are going to plastic surgeons to get plastic surgery to look like their Snapchat filters. So no longer looking like Jennifer Aniston or George Clooney or whoever else is out there. They want to like a Snapchat filter, people. A Snapchat filter.
Is there a particular filter that's like real popular that they're trying to do?
Just probably that, like the Facetune one that makes you look flawless. That kind of.
Okay. I this is the first time I'm hearing about it. So, because I know a lot of the Snapchat filters, they make your skin look great.
Yeah.
So is it more like a skin thing, or is it like the shape of your face?
Shape, the whole shebang.
Wow.
Like your eyes, everything.
Wow, that's crazy.
Some of them make you look a different person.
I can see that though, because people just it's hard not to compare yourself to others on social media.
And that's an issue because I feel like that's one of the problems with social media is making us compare ourselves to other people.
Right.
It's like that, and that's what the anxiety and the depression comes in because you're always looking at so and so, but you don't know what's real and what's what they for all you know that's a lie. But here you are comparing yourself to them, thinking they're all perfect or whatever the case may be, but it's all fake.
I mean, here's a great example of that. You know.
I know exactly what he's about to say.
What am I about to say?
Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson thought that he could fool the world and tell everyone, oh, my marriage is great. Read my book. My marriage is great. Read my book. I know everything there is about men and women. Read my book. He had like 12 books. And guess what? Man's living good. I'm not going to lie. You know, when I'm living good, when I finally make it, guess what I'm going to say? Derek Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows what he's doing. Anyway, but what I'm saying is he had this whole facade on social media that he was just the pinnacle of man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty sure I was walking down the street one day and I was trying to holler at somebody and she was like, boy, you better read some Derek Jackson because you ain't doing it right. Derek Jackson told me about you. And I was just like,
yo,
I've hated him ever since.
This guy
but,
over here.
But for real, like people, I just feel like, you know, some of the things that he was saying definitely were taken to heart. You know what I'm saying? Because people had this image of him in their mind that he was projecting. And it's not even real. You know what I'm saying? It's not even real. So And then, and that not let's forget about Derrick Jackson. We talked about.
But no, I mean, he's definitely one example. But there's a ton of influencers out here that I'm not saying that all influencers are not real, but there are a couple out there that are not presenting themselves real. So just keep that in mind when you are like comparing yourself to someone influencers, or comparing your life to a friend down the street, because you don't know what they're going through. That's just one split second of their life that they're showing.
You know those couples that you see, they're always posting, oh, I'm with Bay, blah blah blah. Those be the ones you gotta watch. Those are the ones that be the most unhappy sometimes, because they be trying to overcompensate for the lack of the actual relationship. You know what I'm saying? But you're sitting there like, why can't I be happy just like them? They ain't even happy. They ain't happy.
No, but that's for real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And another thing social media has caused. Some not as bad. Some have been for good cause. Some not so good and just crazy.
Tell me.
Viral challenges.
Oh, Tide Pods.
The worst. Gen Z people, I blame you.
Gen Z is the worst.
Oh my gosh. I can't.
Okay.
Logically, I cannot understand that one. Like, well, I can't. Because you see one person do it and you say, oh, well, nothing happened to them. I'm going to do it too. Yeah. So then I remember the cinnamon challenge. Do you remember that one?
It's one of my favorites.
Did you do it?
No.
Did you do the Tide Pod one?
No.
Okay.
I did the ice bucket challenge, but that was at least for a good cause.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Some of them were for a good cause. I did do that one too.
Yeah.
So that was a good cause. But there was one that was so crazy. I'm not sure why I'm smiling when I say this one. It was.
It's that vaccine.
Y'all, I cannot. But no, the 48-hour challenge.
What was that?
Kids were literally running away from home and staying away for 48 hours to see if they can get press and get like their parents to put their pictures out there. It was this.
Wow, when did this happen? Like, what year was this? I totally missed this.
It wasn't 2020 was a blur of all of COVID stuff.
Right.
But if it wasn't 2020, it was definitely 2019. Don't quote me, but it was in like the recent future. It was like crazy.
Interesting. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that go viral on social media. You got dances. I mean, TikTok is viral.
Those things are fun and innocent.
Those are fun, yeah.
Yeah, the dance. I think a lot of those got us through quarantine. So you watch all of the dance challenges, TikTok challenges. As long as it's not harming people, I think it's fine. But when you get down to the Tide Pod, even the cinnamon one can be a little harmful. You don't know what it can do to you, so just be careful with stuff like that. But definitely the 48-hour one. That is ridiculous. Do not ever put your family or loved one through that. That's not cool. Because they're extremely worried and they love you. So don't do that to your loved ones. And you don't know what could happen to you while you're out there for those 48 hours. So kids, you Gen Zers, do not do that.
Right. That could be your last 48 instead of your first 48. You feel me?
I cannot.
So to go a little bit deeper, let's talk about how social media affects, us on a day-to-day basis, but also affects like large things like where we lean politically, for instance, because the social dilemma also discusses how it's going to show you the content. That's how the algorithms are set up. They show you what you're most likely to engage with.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a super liberal person and you see some super right-wing conservative content, you're going to scroll right past it because you don't agree with it. You know what I'm saying? It rubs you the wrong way.
Yeah.
But if you're a super super conservative, and you see, the opposite, you're going to do the same thing. So it turns out that with these algorithms, you're going to see things that support your way of thinking. It's only going to reinforce what you already believe. So even if that information is false, and that was one of the big issues they talked about in the social dilemma, is the algorithms, they don't care, and not that it can't care, but it doesn't know what's true information and what's false information. It only knows what you're most likely going to engage with.
Yes.
So even if there were some things that Trump was saying that were completely not factual, because the algorithm isn't fact checking that. You know what I'm saying? That's a more manual process.
That's the problem.
And that's the problem.
And what you can't rely on them, but the fact that the people are not going that extra step to confirm that whether it's fake or not.
No, and I mean, but that's because people, that's a very active type of thing. That's why people read article titles and be like, "Oh, that's good enough for me. I don't need to read this article."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm guilty of it too sometimes. But that's just the same thing. You see something that you agree with, post it on my story.
That
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
didn't even read the article from 2016.
Didn't even read the article. And so, I think one of the things that was most striking to me was in the social dilemma. They interviewed either he's the president of Pinterest now, or he was a former president.
Yeah,
he was a former president. And they were asking him, like, based on how polarizing social media is making people, or polarized it's making people, like politically, what do you see happening? And the former president of Pinterest, said that he believes that this would lead to civil war, because when you're not exposed to the information on the other side, and your radicalism is constantly reinforced,
yes,
you start looking at other people as crazy, and like rational, and you know what I'm saying? You don't see the other side. So that's one of the big threats of social media. I mean, we talked about the mental and emotional effects, but political, I mean, it's hard to determine what's true, what's false,
and what would truly feed your soul.
And what will truly feed your soul. The algorithm doesn't care about your soul; it care about ads and making revenue. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be mindful of that when you're using it. I'm gonna be honest with you. After I watched Social Dilemma, I deleted Instagram and TikTok off my phone. I downloaded it again.
Exactly. I was like, don't let him.
I need my cat videos and my what else do I watch? Guys dancing in ranger suits and stuff like that.
The
like
TikTok dance challenges.
Yeah, they already got me.
Yeah. But no, it did open your eyes. Not saying that one side is right or what's wrong, but it kind of makes you realize that that's all they're seeing. So, can you judge? Well, I don't know. So, can you judge them? Like, because sometimes you think, like, how can you not see it my way? But if that's all that's they're feeding them, and that's all they only go to sites or channels that kind of agree with them. Like, I don't know. I kind of like, because you kind of like thinking, why aren't you not seeing my point of view? If that makes any sense.
That is an excellent point. With the knowledge that social media is reinforcing radicalism, when you hear someone that's radical, first of all, as Christians, we shouldn't judge people anyway. But that further,
it's just a mind blowing. Like, I just don't understand how people. That's what I'm saying. Like,
how people what?
Like, don't see another side. But if that's where they're getting their news and that's all they're seeing, that's it opened my eyes that way. It made me more empathetic. Like, okay, not so,
right.
Yeah,
it makes you more empathetic. Yeah, it's because they're seeing the same thing. But that's the same.
You're thinking they're seeing the same thing you're seeing, and it's like, how can you be that way? But they're only seeing their portion. If that makes sense.
Well, before social media was a thing, people were just. If you were conservative, you were just watching Fox News. That's the same thing. Fox News has a way of seeing things. You know what I'm saying?
I just feel like social media has, like, in the last, they brought that up, in the last 10 years, is drastically more polarized. So that's the part I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, there's always been a divide, but it's the polarization of it and how big it has gotten since social media and the effects it had on politics or just on just everyday differences.
Yeah, and I also just want to throw in real quick. I don't want to single out Fox News. I'm not saying that MSNBC is more truthful, or I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is if you watch just one news source, you're watching and you're getting one side of the story.
Right.
And that's what the algorithms do. They're giving you one side of the story, not because it cares where you lean politically. It just knows that that's what you want to see.
Yeah.
And so yeah. But yeah, it definitely helps you to have empathy. But you still got to be careful because, people, once they get radicalized, as humans, it's easy for us to get in that us versus them mentality.
Oh yeah.
I had a friend. He would say some wild stuff to me, and this was during, like, I think when Trump was first getting elected. And I was like, friend, like, what do we do to how do we heal this country? Like, how do we unite us instead of divide us?
Yeah.
And you know what he said? He said, we need a good war. And not a war within, but a war against someone else. Because, hear me out. Hear me out.
When you say that, I was like,
not a war within, but
yeah.
he was saying, if we as a country had to go to war against another country, we would put our differences aside and we would unite. We'd be more open to it. I know, but it's like, if we're not fighting anyone else, we're fighting each other.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I see what they're saying, but yeah, no.
I don't agree. I don't think we need to have a war. I'm just saying that's how people think.
Yeah.
That's how people are. So,
I mean, social media is a lot. But watching Social Dilemma, do you remember how they were talking about, like, there's like an AI, like, figuring out things just for you to know what you like and what you don't like. But that made me think just a different, broader spectrum of, like, how AI, artificial intelligence, is, like, kind of taking over. Like, we have our smartphones, like, hey Siri, call to and Siri's always listening. I can be having a conversation with you, and talking about something totally non-related to Siri, not talking to Siri, and she's like, how can I help you? And I'm like, I'm not talking to you.
I don't want your help.
I mean, a lot of times we do open the door with our smartphones. I have Alexa in my home, and I have a Google voice in my home. My TV's a smart TV with the Alexa voice.
When they take over, you're going out first. They know everything.
I don't think I'll be the first one, but it just opened your eyes of how much we have opened the door for all of this, like, to come in. So I did watch one documentary on Netflix called History 101. It has, like, different subtopics, but one was on robots, and it was saying how, like, people in Japan are actually marrying robots. Just blows my mind.
I'm jealous. You know what I'm saying? Because then, you see,
you always come with the wildest.
No. Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. See, I feel like if I had a robot girlfriend, if I say, what do you want to eat? She would have an answer. I want chicken. I want to go to Subway. Easy. But with y'all real women, man, that's completely different. What you want? I'm not hungry. Okay, I'm going to get me something to eat. Let me have some of that. You just said you weren't hungry.
Listen, we had this conversation off camera.
I'm getting a robot. Tired of this.
No. But the thing is, with social media, it gives that false narrative that false hope, or false. What am I trying to say?
I don't know what you're trying to say. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Just thought that you were having this connection, and I think that's the danger of it too, because you're thinking, like, oh, we're the best of buds, but you're only having an interaction with through a computer or screen.
Right.
You actually, we as human, we actually need human interaction, and to a like subscription or whatever is not the same, people. So, so please don't allow that to feed or take away from actual human interaction.
Right.
Or whatever.
If I said Siri or Alexa was my best friend, you look at me like I was crazy.
I mean, I look at you like you're crazy for other reasons, but yes, I would definitely have you admit it for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No?
I don't need you to say that for. It's a Hello Kitty for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but yeah, let us know in the comments, like what your views on social media are. Do you feel like it's good? Is it more good? Is it more bad? Have you seen have you had psychological, mental, emotional effects from having it, and or has it affected someone that you love? You know what I'm saying? Like that too. So just let us know in the comments, like what are your thoughts on social media and where it's headed in the future.
Yes, I'm curious to see where it's leading to the future. Because if it's like it is now, I'm like, Lord knows how it's going to be 10 years from now when technology improves more.
Look, I heard that one of the solutions is to get a microchip and like basically we can't beat it, so we have to join it. People, we have to join artificial intelligence. We need to put the microchips in our brain so we can actually use that, have that same computing power. Then what? We're on equal playing field. But if we don't, it's gonna be just like Terminator or the Matrix. It sounds crazy. It sounds
Because
crazy.
it is. Do
Okay.
not do that, people.
Elon Musk himself said that I think he said the greatest threat to humankind is artificial intelligence. You know why? Because competition will not allow artificial intelligence to stop. It's kind of like how um it's kind of I mean it happens all the time with capitalism. You know what I'm saying? Like the more efficient something is, people don't care about like machines doing people's jobs. It's like, yeah, we want people to have jobs, but I want to increase revenue and reduce costs. You see what I'm saying? Artificial intelligence, it it's the competition is going to be like, oh well, their AI is good, but my AI is better, and I'm going to sell this AI because it's more efficient. Well, then someone's like, well, I got to be better than that guy. So artificial intelligence is just going to get more and more sophisticated. So I know what I'm saying, like Matrix and Terminator. You're like, okay, those are movies, bro. But if we're heading that direction. It may not look just like those movies,
Right.
but we're heading
iRobot.
that iRobot. I'm gonna have me a Sonny. Oh, that would be so dope. Can you imagine? That would be so
I don't
dope.
know about Wanda Sunny. Like,
What am I? You remember when he said that? What am I?
my sister loved that movie.
That's a great movie. That's probably one of the top three Will Smith movies for me.
Okay. I'm just kidding. I did like that movie. It was a good movie. One last thing on social media. I think it's very interesting how people like Steve Jobs, the creator of Pinterest, Steve Jobs did not allow all his kids to have an iPad. The inventor of the iPad. So that tells you something about social media. What he thought about. He said it was too addictive. Things like that. I just wanted to point that out. And even the Pinterest guy, he was like, "There's strict limits on my kids. It's a defined time. They have to get off." And I think that's a good thing for young people and us as adults because we don't want social media to take over our lives and become too addictive. So I think it's very smart if we do have the set yourself a timer or a limit of how much you're using social media every day.
What's the opposite of an optimist? A pessimist. I'm not gonna lie. I'm more of a pessimist when it comes to the future of social media. Can you imagine if social media? Okay,
Oh boy.
let me put this in perspective for you. Imagine if Wi-Fi went away for a month. Okay. Now, what would that do if you have a teenager? What would that do to your teenager? I don't think it's good things. You know, I feel like it's like, what do I do? What do I do now? What do I do with my time? I can't.
There's
You know
no
what I'm saying?
TikTok, no Instagram.
Right. So just imagine if you took away social media. You kept Wi-Fi, but you took away social media. I feel like people would lose their minds. That's how like
We still have Netflix.
Okay. Okay, that's true.
I'm just.
But you can't take a selfie on Netflix.
You
That's
sure
what I'm saying.
cannot.
So,
I mean, you just have pictures on your phone or print pictures like we used to in the old times.
Kodak will come back. Actually, Kodak. This is a tangent. Never mind. I'm not gonna go down that way.
So, guys, we won't go on that tangent that Jo'Van wants us to go. And let us know in the comments, how do you feel about social media? Do you have set limits for yourself or for your kids? Please let us know. With the iPhone, I think that you can already set that in, so it will just completely stop you. But I know a couple of my friends who say ignore. So if you set a limit, please stick to it. Don't ignore it because you just need that break from the phones, the device, and touch people. Well, after you're vaccinated, but
That felt great.
people need human interaction. So don't forget to get out and see real people. Go out to see those people that you're giving likes to, hearts to. Go out, go to a picnic, socially distanced picnic, but just see people. Just don't forget about real people, real interaction people. But just let us know how you feel about it in our comments, though.
So yeah, I think we discussed a lot of great things in terms of social media. And
Yeah.
hey guys, thank you for joining us in this episode. Please like and subscribe. We need you guys to be added into our algorithm. We need the ad revenue, and so the more you like and subscribe, the more the algorithm is going to put us on your page, and they're going to be like, "Ooh, what's Closing the Gap doing over there? What's the Closing of the Gap?" So look, the social media algorithm is doing so much evil, and you liking, subscribing is actually for a good cause. You're fighting the machine. You feel me? You feel me?
I mean, if you have a hour to spare a day, give 30 minutes to Closing the Gap.
Closing the Gap. You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
get information. We're not going to spread lies or
Right.
try to hurt you. Let's spread love.
Love and awareness and laughter.
And laughter.
And
if
beauty.
Nothing else, yes, thank you. Well,
okay, I'll spread the beauty. Oh!
Well, no, I didn't know. Annie!
Okay. Anyway, thank you for joining us this episode. I don't know why Brandice is acting so silly today, but we will see you next week. Thank you for joining.
Bye!